Hello, my ladies and pretty gentlemen. Welcome back to another episode of Look What's Happening in the Spiritual Realm with yours truly, Light. I hope you've had a lovely weekend. I had to step back for a couple of days, but today I've got a channeled message, and this is not going to be a message for everyone. This is a message for those of you who resonate with the watcher, the witness, the enigmatic type of outsider energy, but not in a sense of being a misfit, but in a sense that you have always been able to live through all of the characters out there. Everybody in this world, there is a sense of being able to step into their shoes, almost like you could have had so many prophetic dreams, or you could have witnessed things that you may not have been present to see. There could have been memories that you feel like you had, but you don't remember being a part of them. If you're resonating with this message so far, this is what I'm hearing. You are like a cosmic inductor. You are like the witness. For example, if you remember the saying, if a tree falls in a forest and nobody sees it, did it actually fall? That's where you come in. You are a witness that solidifies reality. And for a lot of you, this is why these energies have been terrified of you. These energies that could have stepped into the body of your parents, of your lovers, of your siblings. These energies that have tried to make you isolated and almost pushed you to the point where you had to embrace your role. Their terror regarding you is the fact that you make karmic cycles real. You've heard of a lot of spiritual teachers out there talking about, even though I don't like that term, talking about how you are their karma, right? And I feel like that's a little vague, and I want to make it a little bit more clear as to what that actually means. It's not just that your presence makes their karma real. It's that you see things that are not usually visible to a lot of people. You validate or scribe reality by your very presence and your ability to witness things that a lot of people would probably crumble under. And because of that, you act like a legitimizer, something that records reality and thus starts karmic cycles or finishes them. You act like a reckoning. And this is why a lot of people have latched onto you, a lot of cults have latched onto you, and your ability to manifest, which is directly tied to the fact that you don't necessarily belong to this world, to this specific timeline, nor do you belong to the best or the worst version of it. You are a watcher, and in so many ways, you are a watcher. So this is what I'm hearing. When these energies targeted your sight, your ability to solidify and validate reality, because not everyone can see through things. Not only that, but not everyone can see through them and then sustain the knowledge that they have witnessed. But your ability to do that not only allows you to create karma or dull out or validate karma so that the cosmic justice can take hold, but it also makes your manifestation ability very real. Meaning your mirror, your perspective, and your reflection comes from a very uncorrupted, pure source. Your ability to see both the negative and the positive and to witness it without judging it firsthand makes your potency in this realm very tangible and very real. So not only are you able to do that, but you can manifest things at a very rapid rate. You can quite literally visualize things and have them arrive in your life in a very short period of time. And this is why these cults, these energies, and a lot of you, your family had sold you out. For a very, very few of you actually, your family had sold you out from the get-go. Your mother or your father, people who've had a very close energetic imprint with you, because the potency of your energy is such that those who parented you or those who took care of you were given visions, they were given revelations. They can't shake the energetic imprint, the magnetic resonance around reality where you reside. And for a lot of them, they saw that as currency. And dark forces have probably put them through hell as well, under the guise of pushing them to a breaking point so that they can sell you out. And all of this, right? All of this boils down to the fact that what they want to target is your impartiality, your clarity, your understanding and resonance and your confidence in what you've seen. Because if you don't validate it, if you don't act like a living scribe to reality as it is, then karmic justice, these turning points of reality, would be delayed. But this is what I'm seeing. The earth at this time is going through an absorption of a sort, where all the false energies, all the deep down infested rot is starting to bubble out to the surface. And as this happens, those who have used your energy to sort of masquerade in it and to manifest their whatever it is that they wanted, right? Whatever short cut that they wanted to take through your energy, these people are now being brought to the surface. And what I'm getting is this: you possibly came through a very long lineage of warlocks and witches, people who would sacrifice watchers in their family, because surprisingly enough, these watchers and these witnesses like yourself, these scribes, are born into these families, because that is where the revelation resides. That is where the rulers of the darkness of this world reside. And it's not because witchcraft and witches are a bad thing. It's not that. It's not that ritual and connection to the earth is a bad thing inherently. It's the intention behind what these people have contorted the ancestral wisdom, the knowledge and the gift that was given to us by our beingness, our existence, our creator. They have twisted and contorted that for their own benefit. The way I saw it, especially in my prophetic dreams the past few days, is these people multiplying in the darkness in the woods, like viruses. And it's interesting because they were supposed to be guided underneath the umbrella of those like you, those impartial witnesses, those elders that I've called them here, like you. Instead, those of you who were supposed to be the impartial witnesses, the true-born elders, the mitigators, so to speak, of the realms, were pushed into the sacrificial role. You were pushed into the servitude of this altar, this false altar that they had started to construct for the benefit of this worldly stuff. When in reality, their gifts, these people's gifts, were built to make them more luminous. They were built to involve this world, heal this world, and make this world a more magical, a more whole, a more loving place. It was supposed to cut down those who would use brutality, but instead, they decided to section themselves off into the darkness and feed off of the brutal ones, use them as an excuse to secretly rule the world. That is what happened. And the likes of you were ritually given away, sacrificed. You could have remembered rituals that you took part in as a child, things that were framed as for your healing, vacations, or you being treated separately than your siblings. Whatever the case, you have probably memories like this that were framed underneath the guise of protection, healing, and your rebellion. But the truth is, you came to bear witness. You came to bear witness, an impartial witness, because once something has been seen, once something has been conceived, that is when the cosmic law, the executors, come through. You are like a cosmic, you work like a cosmic jurisdiction. You are here under cosmic jurisdiction. That's a better term to use. You are here under cosmic jurisdiction as a scribe. So their idea to embed you in this reality by using your reflection as a portal to anchor you into the world when in reality you don't really belong here. You don't belong here in that sense. You came here to oversee and to rewrite, reinvigorate, reinvestigate, rewire whatever it is that they had corrupted because of their rejection. And not only that, but their mockery and mimicry of you. What has happened now is a separation. And when I said this deep rot in this world has started to surface up like a infection, these are the people. And a lot of them are being questioned by their own lineage. They're being questioned by the children that were born into their lineage as a watcher and as a witness and as a scribe. Everything that was hidden within your surroundings with regards to these people that you were born into, these environments that you were involved in, that you came across, is all coming to the surface. And as it does, you're being asked to be an impartial witness. That is all that's required of you. Because a lot of these people are going to be entering what I've called a karmic cycle. And it's not just 7 years. It's not just momentary. It's a time of darkness where they're not going to be able to remember all the stuff that they were able to do. They're not going to be able to remember what it was like to live in a world that had sunlight. That's what it felt like. It's almost like they are going to be living in a planet that doesn't remember a planet full of people that don't remember what it used to be like. That's what's going to happen. And a lot of you aren't going to be in this world or in the one that they're living in. There's almost like a cocooning that's happening, a separation, but it's like you're living in a portal that is that's neither here nor there. That's floating between dimensions. And that's because the work that you came to do to anchor that reality in, this is a backup plan. That didn't work because of how rotten, how dismissive, how wicked, how impossible these people were to actually heal, to actually be put in their place. And so now there is this emptiness that's going to befall them because those that were born to be their witness are being removed from their presence. They're being removed from and it's funny because that is the worst thing that can happen to them. Not the fact that you were going to be there to see them and to possibly enact or activate their reckoning, but your absence, even in that type of reaction, right? Your absence to even provide that kind of outcome is worse than the outcome itself, than having that type of karmic reaction itself. Your absence is worse. So what God, what Spirit, what the divine ancestors as well are doing is removing you, removing the likes of you that were first came here with a mission to quite literally imbue these people with light, to help them see the fact that their gifts and their power was not meant to be isolated in that way. It was not meant to be used to harm innocent people. It wasn't meant to be used to enact violence, because these people, what they do is they sit around in the background. They trigger brutal men. They trigger brutal people. They trigger world wars, and they eat from the fallout of it. That's what they do. They rearrange timelines and they eat from the gaps that are left behind from it. That's what they do. That was never what their power was supposed to do. And because they could not be able to either witness, absorb, or crush the scribe that was born into their lineage, what is happening now is that they're hitting an emptiness. And I've said this briefly in my last video towards the end. And what that looks like is a world without magic. That looks like a world that is quite literally like work, just emptiness. And it's not even like an emptiness that recalls something has ever been in its place. You are the only one who's going to realize that. Those of you who are now living in some type of like a bubble, right? Removed, but very present in all these timelines. You're the one who's going to be able to see what they used to be and what they lost. They are going to be living in a world like they're an empty shell because they've rejected the witness. And when they rejected the witness, they rejected their validity, their realness, their actual tangibility in this reality. That is literally what God has decided to do. That is the level of evil and wretchedness that they have pushed and pushed into entering. Because what they're not going to understand is that it was better for them to have received a reckoning. Because what does God say? God corrects those he loves, right? That's not even a thing for these people anymore, because their attitude is such that we would rather humiliate, assault, break, murder, brutalize, and imprison those that were sent to actually keep us maintained, but get us in the right course. That is the level of pride and ego that has now led them to live in a world full of emptiness. And this is what I'm going to say towards the end. What they hijacked, right? Like I mentioned, your manifestation ability. They hijacked it. These people, these family members, these people that you came across, these cults. I'm just going to call them a cult. They hijacked your ability to manifest because they wanted to use that pure reflection to open doors for them, to still dilly-dally in a world that was suffering, actually begging their gifts and their powers to be used for the better. But instead, they dug a deeper hole. And they wanted to basically command the constellation for their own benefit, to distort their role in the cosmos by masquerading as you, by masquerading as your energy, by using your energy of a witness, of a scribe, of a divine jurisdiction, of a cosmic juror, your witness ability to manifest and masquerade in that. They wanted to distort their role because your vision, your clarity, you seeing them was all it took for divine karma to reinstruct. But because they tried to squirm, they used witchcraft, evil witchcraft, not the kind that we would use for healing purposes and invigorating ourselves, but that is used to murder, disorient, and disembody people. That kind of witchcraft. They used it to divert and distort their reflection in your eyes. But that doesn't work anymore because you're no longer in that reality. You're not even in the future reality that was supposed to be for them as well. You're in both realities and none of them at the same time. I hope this message resonated because this is a deep, complex download that I've gotten. And I honestly wanted to take 2 days away because I didn't want to come in here and say it in a very vague way. And I really hope it came through. Like, I really do. For those of you it's meant to, it's going to resonate. Like I said, this is not for everyone because not everyone was born into these structures. Not everyone was born to be a gifted one. And not just gifted, but in a place where they were born into a lineage of those that were gifted, those who have taken part in creating the world that we now live in, the world full of wars, murder, all of this stuff, to witness it for exactly what it is, so that divine justice can take place. Not everyone was born into that kind of world. And for those of you that were and that know this, understand this is what's happening. This is what's happening. And in some ways, this is what was supposed to happen all along. Justice will be served, no matter how. No matter in what way, no matter in what situation, justice will be served. That's not an option. I hope this resonated. As usual, I don't reach out. Those are scammers. And everything you need to know is in the description box down below. My shop is in the description box, and I'm going to be uploading a blog today or tomorrow, probably today, maybe tomorrow, about these energies that I've spoken about, like the collector, the nester, I'm not going to get into it now, but it's all going to be in the blog. It's going to be the terms that I throw around in this channel that I've kind of constructed to describe these energetic footprints amidst ascension. And yeah, so everything is going to be organized in the shop. My book, Sad Girl, I have a different view today, but it's usually in my bookshelf. Sad Girl is on Amazon and also in the shop. So until next time, everyone. Ciao.